Now, you'll be paying a little more for fuel this morning. Petrol vehicle owners will pay 51 cents a litre more for both grades, while diesel users have been hit with a whopping R1.43 hike per litre. Now, this is bad news for consumers, with the knock-on effects hitting pockets even harder. So let's discuss the impact with Owen Nkomo of Inkunzi Emnyama Investments. And he joins us now. Owen, thank you for your time and good morning to you. That impact that, of course, I alluded to earlier on, what does it look like for us as consumers?
Good morning to you. It's quite a negative set of information coming in again just before the festivities in December start. Means we're going to be paying more for petrol, and unfortunately, that's going to drive inflation even higher. The rand is struggling dismally to find its feet back again against the dollar. And, the recent changes in the UK also mean that we're now struggling against the pound as well, given their reshuffle as well of leadership in the United Kingdom. For South Africa, it means inflation numbers are going to continue to go up. This means that Mr. Kganyago and his team at the Reserve Bank are going to be, obviously voting for interest rates to go up, which are going to affect you and I as the normal citizens in the country. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a solution anytime in hand, because the price of oil itself continues to go above, levels that would have seen us get more petrol price cuts. Yeah. It's trading above $86 per barrel at the moment, and the rand is weakened to over 18-20 odd in the past month. And so that's not a great scenario. It's going to be tough for all of us going forward.
Yeah. And I mean, what does this mean then for the transport industry that has to transport all these goods between provinces, between borders? What does it mean for food? You made a good point around this coming at a bad time. It's a festive season. It's time for family gathering, lots of spending expected during this time. But I mean, what's the knock-on effect then, particularly on the transport industry and I suppose even the cost of food?
Yeah, so it definitely means that the guys in the transport space are going to have one of their major inputs. In fact, petrol and diesel, actually the major inputs in the transport space, particularly for long distance trucks. They use a lot of diesel, and diesel always goes up higher than petrol does. And at the same time, when the prices of petrol goes down, we haven't seen a major decline in the price of diesel. So it means their input costs continue to increase. And, for people that are producing food and using these two elements as part of their inputs, it means also food prices will go up because the input prices are going up. The scenario is just a very crazy one. And I believe at this stage, maybe the only intervention that's possible is for the government to actually look at some of these levies and taxes and actually reduce them for the sake of the reprieve, or rather to give the citizens a reprieve in terms of pricing. It's been done before, but it fell off. And I think the government needs to bring those things back again, where we get a benefit of a lower tax and levy amount as part of the petrol price.
Yeah. With that being said, I mean, I know you mentioned that this, of course, is definitely going to be hitting hard on consumers, but any relief anytime soon, just in terms of timelines? Can we expect, I don't know, next year, January, February, middle of next year? I don't know what the timelines look like for the rand to do better, to be a lot more empathetic towards South Africans and to see some relief when it comes to this inflation?
So, as I've said, the only intervention that we could ask for from the government is if they could just maybe reduce the levy and the tax amount in the fuel price, because away from that, OPEC wants to continue to decrease production. So that means fewer barrels of oil out there, with a lot of money chasing those barrels of oil in totality in the world. So it means that if OPEC doesn't increase productivity, the only lever that you have is, the control of the levy side of things for South Africa, particularly because our levies are extremely high. So I cannot predict what happens to the price of oil. I cannot predict which direction the range is going to take. But I can tell you, if we were to see any reduction in the oil price and diesel, or rather the fuel prices in South Africa, potentially what we would have to see is a stronger currency and a lower oil price globally. And I don't think that at this stage that scenario is going to happen.
All right. Well, I have to leave it there on that a very sad note. I was hoping that you would bring us some good news, Owen, but unfortunately we have to wait and see what the SA Reserve Bank does and says. Owen Nkomo from Inkunzi Emnyama Investments, thank you so much for your time this morning.